We need to know about the market. I try to look inside the data. I mean, X houses sold, blah, blah, blah. What's really helpful is the data within the data that helps you really see what's going on. I am neurotic about days on market. One of the things that I find super interesting is how long is it taking for buyer and seller to meet and have a deal? It's taking longer than it used to. Forever in a day, if you broke up the market into 4 quadrants, forever in a day pre-COVID, this makes a lot of sense. The higher the price, the higher the days on market it took to sell, and vice versa. It was always the lowest part of the market was always the fastest, then the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Well, since COVID, and this really hasn't changed since like 2021, if you look at those 4 quadrants, guess where the top 2 fastest sectors to sell are? This may surprise you. The top quarter and the bottom quarter. At either extreme is the fastest time to sell. Fast is relative, 110, 115 days. Still faster than it was pre-COVID. We're still not back to inventory levels of pre-COVID, nor days on market. So the top end, the bottom end. So explain that to me. The middle 2 segments, where most of our product is really somewhat strangled and markedly slower to sell. So what's the deal with that? Well, a couple of things, I think. The top end has a high net worth buyer who has much more what I would call elasticity. They can go up to a higher price. They have less worries about finances and less finite, more elasticity. And then the bottom end is appealing to the majority of buyers, say, under $1 million for the Barrier Island. So what's the deal with that middle section? The middle section is really our bread and butter where most of our product is. But a lot of those homes are priced in house purgatory, meaning they're priced too high for somebody to jump in and say, I'm going to reinvest time and do reno, but they're also priced too high to knock down and build. In many cases, those buyers that are chasing those houses certainly have means beyond most of us, because most of these purchases are elective purchases. So we're not talking, dollar pinched at all. But these are all elective buyers, right? We're in a secondary market. Most of these buyers are coming in and they're choosing where to live as a retirement house or as a vacation house, second, third house. So this is an elective purchase. This isn't like I've got a job and I've got to get there. So at a certain point in that middle market, that buyer, cost to buy has gone up. Cost to insure has gone up. At a certain point, there is a limit to what that segment will do. And then if you put on top of it, you're giving me a house selection of houses that I don't perceive to be move-in ready, that are going to require reinvestment. At a certain point, A plus B doesn't equal C, and they just do nothing. And so that is the most stuck part of our market. So what is the solution? The solution really is, as it always has been as a seller, there are 2 things you can control. One, you can't. Overall market, we can't control. We operate within its confines. We can't control it. You can control your price and your presentation. The question is, which lever is most amenable or most interesting to you, and which one is going to have the most impact? What I would say, if it's price, I use the analogy of jumping into the deep end of a pool. If you jump into the deep end of a pool and you're down at the bottom and you're trying to make ripples that are visible on top, you've got a wave a lot bigger for it to be seen. It's no different in this market. What I mean by that, if you expect price to be the lever to solve your problems, because at a certain point, price usually does mitigate all negatives. The price will probably surprise you. It can't just be dollar for dollar the cost to fix, or even 2x. In this market, we are seeing buyers who are able pay 3 and 4 times the real cost to get you there. So the delta between the cost of what you are as you are now and to compensate for the cost because it's not perceived to be move-in ready, maybe 3 to 4 times the real cost to get you there. So in that case, I would say, do you have any ability to actually do any of the work? Because the market will reward you handsomely if you eliminate the problem, but is ultra punitive if you say it's as is, take her as she is. So that's my biggest surprise. People expect to be inverted, and it's not. The middle quadrant of the market right now is the most strangled. So what's going to change it? Time, price, presentation. Time broadly, as that demographic ages and life's challenges, death, diapers, divorce, disease, force sales. Broadly, for a seller to force change and not rely upon time, it's going to have to be price or presentation.